Welcome to another top pick based on originality, condition, and price. Our feature car for today is a 2002 Honda S2000. My name is Rob Lofreeze. You're watching the Daily Car Buys channel. Let's go check this car out. I found this car on Craigslist in Austin, Texas. It's a 2002 Honda S2000 with 131,000 miles. It's dealer owned. He's looking for $18,999. We'll just say $19,000. And again, it's located in Austin, Texas. The S2000 is a real interesting car. The car was originally created from a concept car that was revealed at the 1995 Tokyo Motor Show. And with Tokyo Motor Show, what they revealed was a very basic type car in celebration of their Formula One entry back in 1963, and also their fascination with Lotus, the Lotus 7 car, which was a roadster. And what they wanted to do was create a car that had no marketing or consumer influence. Everything about this S2000 was created by its designers and its engineers. And of course, the top brass that would come down to the design studios to make sure what they were getting is what they wanted. So the 1995 concept car ended up really being almost very reminiscent of this exact production car that ended up being revealed in 2000 and in 2000 calendar year. The S2000 is an interesting production line because what they did was they built these cars off a research and development subline at the factory. And it was the same production line where they built the Acura NSX and the very first Honda hybrid Insight Coupe. So they had these three cars being built at the same time in a sub assembly plant. And all these cars were more or less halo cars for the company. They weren't really making a lot of money with these cars. So, with the research and development and all the cost and tooling that went into these cars, I doubt very much that Honda made money on these cars. But what they wanted to do was to really make a splash in the marketplace. And they were very successful with all three cars when these cars came out, because now every one of those cars I just mentioned, the S2000, the NSX, and even the first Honda hybrid coupe, are more or less high demand and high prices these days. So this S2000 is a car that came out in two series. The first series was 2000 to 2003. And just like we have in the United States, we have generations. So this is the first generation car. What's more important with this car is not only how the car was created, but it's also how the car was executed. It had a 50-50 weight distribution, and we'll talk about that. It had a Formula One inspired driver cockpit and digital displays that was really kind of like, think about 22 years ago. It was pretty, pretty impressive. But more importantly was the car's engine. It was a 2-liter double overhead cam engine that claimed to have the highest output of any production engine ever produced for commercially, not racing. But this car had 240 horsepower. It was normally aspirated, no turbochargers or superchargers, at 8,300 RPM, and it redlined at 9,000 RPM. So this car actually screams. It's like being in a go-kart or being on a motorcycle. When you get past 8,000 RPMs, you actually feel like the engine's going to start falling apart, but it's really breathing very healthy and it wants to go. Let's take a look at the actual ad on this car and see if we can talk about this a little bit. Again, it's dealer. It was posted now 2 days ago. It's a dealer in Austin, Texas. He says it has a clean Carfax, clean title, of course. Super clean interior and exterior. The air conditioning is cold. He says the tires are pretty new. I don't know how you define pretty new tires. Leather seats, of course, was standard, and it comes with two original remote keys. If we look at the actual photographs real quick, we can see the styling is very, very beautiful. You can see the front fender flares that really accent the car really nicely. You can see the wheels are pushed real forward on this car in some of the photos. It kind of reminds you of a Corvette or race cars is for the time. It has a short back, long nose, because of course, the engine is up there in front. The back of the car is not as stunning, or kind of a little almost like Honda-ish in the back, but we'll let that pass because the rest of the car is very pretty. There's no road rash or any type of damage I can see on the car, or its paintwork looks original just from the photos. And again, you can see that beautiful front fender flare that's on this car, how beautiful that car is. We get into the interior of the car. Oh, there's a nice shot that shows you how The tires are pushed real forward in the front, and the engine sits aft of the strut towers. So that gives it that 50-50 weight distribution that you find in front engine cars like the Corvette and things like that. So you can see that design is right there. It's not a very big car, but it's not as small as a Miata, but it's a very pleasing car to drive. You don't feel like you're driving a small car when you're behind the wheel. There's another shot of the car. Let's see if we can get into the interior. The interior is very Spartan on the interior with all the controls being focused for the driver. So as a passenger, it's very bland and designed that way. You can see that very bland dashboard, but all the focus and the attention is for the driver, and they're trying to provide this Formula One type of output here. Beautiful pictures, by the way. The photography on this, whoever takes the photos of these cars are fantastic. And there's that cockpit. Has a push button start, which for 2002 was a big deal. 6-speed manual transmission. There's your digital dash, which is reminiscent of Formula One cars back in the day. The steering wheel is it has an airbag, but you can see how small and how well designed it is too. So it's a nicely styled steering wheel. All the controls for your heater is within reach near the steering wheel for the driver. So it's all business. Yeah, really nice. Honda doesn't. Oh, there's a better view of how it looks when you're behind the wheel. You really feel like you're in a Formula One car. And I know it's a little bit of a stretch to say that, but that was the designers wanted to make you feel that way. And I think they executed that very well from a design. And there's a digital display, which was a new thing back then. Funny thing is, I think they used the same digital display on the Honda Insight, but I might be wrong on that. But anyway, the door panels look beautiful and all that. So, and here's the engine bay. You can see how the engine is pushed back, uh, and it's after the strut towers, which gives it that 50-50 weight distribution. You got a lot of nose here. You got tremendous front end crash worthiness because you have all this sheet metal around you to protect you. So I would think the car is pretty safe too. And everything's nice and accessible. It doesn't look like there's anything really crowded to get in there. You can reach for everything. So, and there it is. So anyway, a real nice car. I like it a lot. I think the car has some good value from a pricing point of view. What I did was I went online and I went to Bring a Trailer just to see what some prices go for. And on Bring a Trailer, prices are like anything else all over the place, right? So if you look at the graph, you can see that most of the cars are in the mid 20s. And some cars, outstanding and special edition models, are up there past the $40,000 mark. So this car is priced at 19,000. He brought it under $20,000 because of the miles, 131,000 miles. I think he's pretty on target with the car because of the condition of the car looks really nice. Now you got to remember in Texas it's different than here in New York or Chicago or California in the major cities. In Texas, the roads are full highway concrete roads. People do 75, 80 miles an hour all day long. I bought cars in Texas where the car had 100,000 miles and it still had its original brake hardware on its front brakes because people just don't, stop and go traffic doesn't really exist out there. So they're more pampered type miles most of the time. And most of the cars are kept indoors too because of the hot sun. So, this car might be that type of example as well. I mean, I can't see a lot of the car other than the photographs, but I don't think you're going to be disappointed in this car. And if I could buy this car for $17,000 type price range, I think you'd be getting a really good buy. So anyway, that's about it. If you like this car and you want to go get more information, just please go to our homepage. You can see our Facebook link here. That will take you right to our Facebook page. We have over 10,300 members there, and we've had a lot of conversation on this car already, so you can join the conversation. You'll find the ad. You can link to the ad and talk with the seller of the car as well. Thank you all for your support for this channel. We appreciate you coming on board today. And also, if you like this page, please subscribe to this channel. We're trying to grow it so we can do live Q&A. We're going to do that hopefully in the month of March, April. And we just need a little bit more subscribers. We need at least 250 subscribers to get there. So, and we're getting there every day. So thanks for your support, especially those at Patreon that make this channel possible. We'll see you again real soon. And thanks again for joining us. Bye.